In the latest Star Wars Hunters update that went live the other day, we got some brand new gunplay mechanics, so in today's video I just wanted to discuss that very quickly. But before I get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on to never miss a piece of Star Wars Hunters content. So for those of you who don't know, for the last couple of years the gameplay in Star Wars Hunters had no ammo, no gun overheat, no recoil or spread patterns or anything like that, and honestly that felt absolutely fine to me as the game played very well and was constant carnage with blaster fire everywhere and melee characters swinging their weapons around non-stop. And because Hunters is a very arcade-like game, it honestly just made a lot of sense. But with these changes, it still is very much like that, which was one of my concerns. The gun wielders, which take up over 50% of Hunters, now actually have to reload their weapons or cool them down, depending on the type of gun they actually use. So that means everyone now has to take into consideration these new mechanics when going into encounters. Personally, my advice is just to reload or cool down your weapon as soon as you've finished an engagement so that you're prepared for what's next. But if you are mid-engagement and have to reload, then naturally you will just have to face that. But if at any point you're having to turn away from your enemy or you're moving slightly, definitely reload then as well, as by the time you're turning back you should almost be finished, or you will be finished at that point, because thankfully the reload / cooldown doesn't actually take too long anyway, so it's not the biggest of deals. If you take a look at Shah for example, his scattergun will only fire 2 shots off until he has to reload, but because his reload is very quick it doesn't really make the biggest of differences. And then Imara Vex, her blaster has 30 shots in it until she is forced to cool down her weapon, and oftentimes that is more than enough to have in any engagement, so you don't often find yourself reloading mid-fight with her, but even if you have to, it really isn't the biggest of deals, unless you are right up in someone's face. Now when we first found out about these new gunplay mechanics, I was honestly a little bit nervous as to how much it was going to change the game. Would it work out for the best? And if I wasn't the biggest fan of it, would they even consider going back? And the answer to that is probably not. But that said, these kind of mechanics are in all other games anyway, so I knew it wouldn't be too bad, but I just wanted it to work out for the best for the game, and I had all these other questions running around in my mind. But thankfully I can say that when the update drops, the new mechanics honestly just felt supernatural to the game, and honestly like they'd been in there forever. So that was really pleasing to see, and it just adds that extra layer of combat as well, which can make things even more challenging, more realistic, and just more fun to play. I've been playing this game for a couple of years now on and off, mostly when updates drop, and this is probably one of my favourite updates thus far, despite not having a new hunter. Now I will have a more in-depth update review in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that, but today I literally just wanted to talk about my first impressions on the new gunplay because it is that much of a big deal for the game. Now I know a lot of you can't play this game currently because of the soft launch, and for those of you in that situation I'd still be keen to hear your thoughts on it, and for those of you who are playing the game, let me know what you think about these changes as well. Hopefully launch isn't too far off now either, so stay tuned to the channel to stay fully up to date on all of that. That is it from me today though. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.